Wait a minute, who's that?
All right, well, first of all, hope everybody has a drink or a beverage of their liking, some sort. If not, it's a good time to grab one. First of all, we're gonna play a drinking game. No, seriously, pour yourself a glass. Nobody's gonna rush here. I'm gonna talk and you guys are gonna drink. I've been kind of worried about something. I know you guys are asking each other, like, how do you know Tim Lee and whatnot? And I gotta just ask you, please, just lie. Just lie. Don't tell the truth, just lie, right? All right, so the real reason we're here, right, besides my birthday, Sergey's in the bathroom right now, but, oh, you're here? Okay, good. So, many months ago, and if you talk to me a lot, you know who Sergey is, or you know what he means to me. And he suggested many months ago, he's always ahead. That's how he is, he always thinks about himself when maybe I don't think about myself, but he said, we got to throw a big party for your 50th, and so he's really at fault here, but so it's been an emotional few months here. Reason being is, and not to get you too embarrassed or anything, but when we first started hanging out many years ago, he would say stuff like, "Tim, don't nervous, and I would say, okay, and then he'd say, let me represent you to someone. And I looked at it from an English standpoint, it kind of made sense, right? Basically he's saying, not let me introduce you, but let me be your representative and introducing you to someone. And so for many months, I thought, who would I represent to others? And we don't have enough time for this. I mean, the boat charges us more than some of the attorneys here. So, and the whole time I've been thinking, like, what can I say that's kind of funny with the attorneys? But not much besides, like, exit is this way for the attorneys and politicians, and everybody else is this way, right? So, but so seriously, it's been an emotional few months thinking about, for the past 50 years, who I could represent tonight. And I've had people. We don't have enough time. It would take days. It would take days. And, I have a good friend of mine who used to deliver groceries, a young pregnant wife, and when I was too busy working, I couldn't afford it, right? He's here. And I have people that have literally been willing to put their lives at risk to protect my children, and people that have flown many hours, and some people that have driven for days, and honestly, I'm thinking, why didn't they fly? And why are they not? Why are they on a maybe federal do not fly list? And a lot of you guys have been with me when I didn't have like a podcast.
Sure you did.
And I have people here that have been willing to promise their professional lives to me, and vice versa, and their families indirectly. And I'm taking it really serious, and I felt very honored that they're here tonight. And then, as early as even last weekend, and they've witnessed miracles that God has performed in my life. And then there's people that have witnessed miracles that I performed, like maybe locking your car keys in your trunk in the rain, not once, but twice in a day, And the big miracle was he didn't kill me. He never said anything or complained, right? So, why are you all here? Last year I went to a funeral, and what happens at these funerals, you run into these people you haven't seen for 15, 20, 30 years sometimes. And side note, I've had a lot of people that were supposed to fly in, and please take care of your health. People I wanted to desperately see before something bad happened, and sure enough, something bad happened, and 3 people, got sick right before being able to come. So, I really hope that you do take care of your health. But, back to all that. At the funeral, we would talk and start to reunite, and I'd always ask myself and think, man, I really wish the deceased person was here. They would have loved being with all his friends or her friends. And what always happens, you have a good time, and at the end of the night, you say stuff like, let's not let another 10, 15 years pass by before we get together. And, well, I'm a selfish SOB, and I figured I'd just gather everybody right now, right? So, why you're really here is that I wanted to represent everybody to each other here, and what you've meant to me, and why the past few months have been so emotional to me. So, first of all, I'd like you to raise your glass, have a drink, and to all you, I love you. I love you.
Love you, Tim. Love you, Tim.
Thank you. Now, I know I don't have time to introduce everybody here,
How do you keep running out?
but what I can say is I'd like for you to be people that I see forever someday. And I believe that nobody's perfect, right? And that isn't really good people that go to heaven. It doesn't really matter how hard you try. It's forgiven people that go to heaven. So that's a different note. If you guys ever want to talk to me about that, I'm happy to speak to you about that. But what that does say is friends teach each other that you're friends with the people that you're not just getting along. It's people that you have to forgive, and the people that have forgiven you. Okay, and most of you fall in that category because we're not perfect. And so I came up with this saying. It says, friends, are you friends because you're forgiven, or have you forgiven them because you're friends? And I know, before you hurt yourself or put too much thought into it, just all I'm saying is, start with forgiveness and grace, right? Now, this is serious, right? Not often do I have the pleasure of being with all 4 of my kids. My 2 oldest daughters are off and away, and they're in their 20s, and I want you to listen to this, Christina, Addie, Annalise, and Emmett. Yeah, Appa says a lot of negative things about government, what's going on, and
Reach.
we hear a lot of opposing things from different parties, but no matter what anybody tells you, or even what Dad says, we live in a country that's worth fighting for. Okay?
That's right.
And even if it's to the end, we maintain our values, which is that loyalty, right? And if your grandfather was here, he would have told you the same thing. We're Americans, and regardless of the color, we're stuck with each other, make the best of it, and what does grandfather say? Always be faithful. To you Marines, you understand what that means? And so, to you girls, we have a country we're fighting for, always. And, it was funny, but really, I have been complaining a lot. And, but, the reason I brought it up at my birthday is this. Don't let anyone dishearten you and believe that loyalty, honor, self-sacrifice doesn't pay off. no matter how much you've been hurt, those traits still matter. And everybody here is a testimony as to what that can bring you. Okay, everybody here. I'm blessed to have you all here because I do believe that we need to be loyal, forgive, have honor, and to self-sacrifice. Grandfather used to say, be a good friend to earn good friends. And now with that being said, everyone knows I've given my life to being a friend and like a son to Fred Haney. Now, when my dad died, Mr. Haney got on me and I screwed up, you know, and he said, Tim, your dad isn't around, so listen to me. And, you know, there's many of us that may have lost a father or parent, but no one can replace that. But what can be replaced is the love and feelings that come from a man that treats you like a son. He has loved me, I've loved him, and Brad said it earlier, John 15:13 says, there's no greater love than to lay one's life down for one's friend. It doesn't say brother, it doesn't say co-worker, neighbor, it says friend. So regardless of what the intention is or not, I've learned a lot from his victories and even some of his mistakes. Shoot, you guys know this too. Even my handwriting's as bad as his now. It's horrible.
Amen.
So, you know, I want to make a toast to him, of course, one more time. Somebody that's treated me like a son. So I'd like to live the last Freddie. Thank you. So, lastly, to all of you who are here, let me share one last thing. So everyone knows I'm a big hypocrite, and every one of you guys know. Every time I say that, and the reason you're laughing is because you know I'm going to say something religious after that, right? So it's kind of like the guy that says, you know, I got a black friend or Hispanic friend, Asian friend, just as a preface, because you know what's going to happen now. I'm going to say some of the most racist shit ever. But listen, I'm a hypocrite, right? So on the morning of my wedding day, I wrote this pledge, not because I'm a good guy, but because I really needed to remember what has gotten me to the point where my wife would marry me, you know, and Julie, these 14 years have been, this isn't an anniversary thing, I know it's my birthday, but, I've been dying to tell you this, they've been full of hardship, anger, and disappointment.
And it's my life, isn't it?
But also the most fulfilling and joyful for you. Truly, truly appreciate the things we work for. 14 years ago, my wife planned a wedding, and she did it in 2 weeks. We fast forward 14 years, and she's been planning this for a couple months. And then, so, what I will say is there's a common characteristic that the men in my life share. Some of us have different religions, political views, but all of us share the desire to be a good son, a good father, and a good husband. I absolutely am proud of every one of you guys here. There's times when I might have felt like disheartened, but you guys were always there. And as a result of it, I got a very satisfying and I'm a lucky man to be married to my wife, Julie. Truly my second half, and can't do anything about it. So this has gone long enough, and I wanted to maybe recite my pledge or leave you a copy, and perhaps maybe I'll email it to you, but
Have Tim do it.
Or I will.
yeah. And when you get it, right, regardless of your religious beliefs, these are mine. And if I follow them, It will encourage me to be the best friend that I can be for you. And if, in the event I deviate from my pledge, don't hesitate to remind me, okay? And I want to thank God, my family, and all of you for the opportunity to pour my heart out to you this evening. I feel like life is short, and if every day you live every day like it's your last day, if I was to call this my last day, I can say that I'm so happy to say that I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love all of you with the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Have a good night.